Welcome back to another project video, this time on a red grabber crane that I've made as a result of a design challenge to make a device that could pick something up, quite simply as that. So my inspiration was obviously the more traditional construction cranes that you might have seen out in the world, but also that of the ones you might have played at the arcade, the traditional pick up the stuffed animal type grabber. So I thought I would start it off with a little demonstration. Here you can see me picking up the Lego phone stand that I've created. Showcase that in my most recent video if you haven't checked that one out already. It does take some practice to line up and to get a perfect grab. You can see that I'm a bit rusty and I don't have the execution down perfectly. It's because it is a two-step process. So you see first the jaws need to grab, and then that second set of black tires you see hanging off to the left applies the downward force to grab the object, and up it goes. You can see the tire stack raises while the grabber stays where it is, thus resulting in an opening action. Afterwards, I'm able to get a better grip than the first time, so once again, up it goes, and back down. So let's get into the detail of how this works. We're back at my table here, and as I mentioned, this has the layout essentially of a standard crane. So off to the right you can see the boom, which I'll show you in a bit more detail shortly. You have the 4 M motors, one that drives each of the 4 functions for the crane, going into a BOWIZ 2.0 unit in the back. And then I have for a counterweight these ceramic coasters that I've repurposed, so that's the only non-Lego part on today's model. I'd like to go over the controller unit for the model. You can see the black A-frame moving there as I lower the main boom. So the control itself is driven through my phone via Bluetooth to the BOWIZ unit on the back there. I have 4 main switches that return to center. And then, of course, the speed control in that blue box. So that shutter just now was my string running out of line, and we keep it in there because sometimes there are mistakes in Lego. That's no problem. Otherwise, you can see the 3 vertical are for the operation. The 1 horizontal there is for turning the turntable at the bottom. We set it off to the side, and we can go into a little bit more of the boom detail. Here I'm just disassembling a bit so that I can get out the main pin holding in the boom. You'll see that it is just a black 12 here. Now the boom itself is made of trusses, so just a repeat element. You'll see this repeated triangle going down the length of it, providing a lot of support that we need for the boom element. And we use some black because I ran out of red. Nice and simple. It's actually pretty lightweight. I'm going to set it off to the side here, and then we'll take a look at the bit more busy section of the model, which is the body, which houses all of the motors and all of the counterweight. So as I pick this up, on the right side you can see the 4 bank of motors. So we have 3 winches and 1 for the turntable. That center one there you can see is what actually operates the grabbing action. So that closes the tire stack, that raises the main boom, and again here we have the turntable operation. A bit more on the turntable, the motor feeds through to the right side. It's driven by a chain, which I always enjoy using, down to an inverted turntable, so the model turns around the base instead of the base turning around the model, so to speak. So to finish up today, I just thought I would show some more video of the total grabber in action. So this was a lot of fun to make. I would say that the whole thing probably took me about 30 hours or so casually working on it on my days off to come up with the design, come up with all the finishing touches, all the things just how I wanted them. It was a lot of fun. I encourage anyone to try to make something like this, either hand crank or motorized if you'd like to. I'd say that the whole thing probably has about 1,000 pieces all included. And again, this project did use some non-Lego parts. I mentioned earlier only the counterweights were non-Lego, but failed to include some of the string, the white string, and the BWIZ unit itself, obviously. So hope you enjoyed this video, and ask yourself, what'd you do on your day off?